This is the Faders Up Podcast.
Welcome to the Faders Up Podcast. I'm Czar.
I'm Sci-Fi.
And this is a podcast about pro audio and beyond. If you got questions you want answered on the podcast, you can reach us at fadersuppodcast@yahoo.com. And all guests and hosts that appear on the show will be in the show notes. Also, don't forget to join the discussion for this episode and more on our Facebook group, Faders Up Podcast. I don't know why I almost forgot the name of the Facebook group. But yeah, this episode, me and Sci-Fi are going to talk about resonance suppression plugins because OEK Sound has released Soothe 3. And while neither one of us have used it yet, we both have Soothe 2. As we'll get into how much we use that later. But with Soothe 3 being announced, now we've got to ask the question, or eventually find out, I'll say, has Soothe 3 regained king of resonance suppression plugins? Because it was definitely the first one I knew about, and I would probably say the most popular one out there.
Yep.
Definitely one of the most popular ones out there.
Definitely.
So we'll take a look at what's new in Soothe 3 and talk about that. But first, we're going to get into our regular segment of who's been pushing faders up. So, Sci-Fi, how you been pushing faders up?
Man, a few things. I just did like a collab post with Universal Audio. They've been having a promo going on for their Volt interfaces.
Okay.
And you get free plugins with them. So you can use my code in my Instagram bio if you want to get a Volt interface and get some free plugins. But that was cool. Got to make a track or whatever and posted that with them. I did a sync camp, like for TV and film, with this company called Soundstripe a couple weeks ago, where I did 2 tracks. Actually, I was the artist. That's the first time I've been really featured as an artist on really anything. So I did 2 tracks of my own, and then I did one for Daisha McBride. So that was cool. Working with them. And then also last week, I actually had 2 days, 2 separate instances where I went to schools and just did like a quick production workshop. They've been having like career day and stuff. They always do that, I guess, at the end of the school year. So I did one at Pearl Cone with the Grammy Museum. They had me do like a production workshop with 3 of their classes, just kind of showing them what a producer does, and, you know, kind of make a beat and have the kids come up and make a beat. All they wanted to do was turn up and make a beat. They didn't care nothing about what I was talking about. But that was fun. And then I got to go to, I forget the school, but it was an elementary school in Laverne, and kind of do a similar thing. Just tell the kids what a music producer does and show them stuff that I've worked on, beats I've made and all that, and just give them the layout of how to be a producer. And yeah, it was cool. Really rewarding.
We had a producer come to our class in college, music producer. And at this time, I was so confused at how he was a music producer, because from what I knew at that time, the producer is who makes the beats.
Yeah.
So I'm like, sir.
Yeah.
So if you're not making beats,
what you doing, man?
How are you a producer? Like,
right.
I'm so confused right now.
Right. And I was trying my best to dictate to the kids, like, you don't have to make beats to be a producer. Most producers nowadays do make beats, but that's not a requirement. But also I was like, I probably shouldn't focus too much on that, because they don't understand what I'm talking about in the first place. Because I never had nobody come to my school and tell me, like, you could be a producer or an engineer, whatever. Whenever I was in school, you know, I feel like at least when I was a kid, those type of careers weren't like heavily broadcast, or even careers that people thought you could have a sustainable career in. You know, it's either like you do it and you're broke, or like you do it and you're working with Beyonce, so you're super rich. Yeah. So it's kind of like either you do it or you don't. But now, you know, I think there's a lot more info about it, and there's a lot more information about how to get into those careers nowadays. And it was just an honor to be able to talk to the kids and see them at least find some type of interest in it.
Yeah, that's definitely what's up. I want to go back to Universal Audio. That's a company I do not have a relationship with, but do you know? I did see that they recently came out with the UAD Explore bundle, which is their free bundle.
Yep.
Do you know with your link in the Vault interfaces what you get? What plugins are you?
So
with that?
So you get the Ravel, I believe that's how you pronounce it, which is their piano plugin, like a grand piano.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that.
You get Anthem, which is their own like analog modeled synthesizer. It's like not modeled after anything specific, but it's just their analog synthesizer. You get Electra 88, which is a Rhodes type of plugin.
Keyboard, yeah.
What else? Opal, which is it kind of like an FM style synthesizer, but it sounds. I mean, you can get it sounding analog style too, but it kind of the way it's set up is kind of designed to be more like an FM style synthesizer.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also get what is it? Vibe, the Vibe machines or whatever. Basically, like
Verve.
Different. Well, they changed the name to Vibe. It's Vibe now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like a bunch of different like tape machines and preamps and old type of stuff that you can run your signal through to give it that vintage texture.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you buy any type of Vault interface,
is this a bundle that's tailored towards you? Like specifically, your link gets these specific plugins?
No. If you use my link, I have like an affiliate link with them. But if anybody can go on there and get it. If you buy any of the Vault interfaces, then you get those plugins free. It's until I believe May 31st that you can get those.
Okay, so it's a limited time thing. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, I was thinking with that, you didn't name any like dynamics processors or EQs, but I guess you can get that UAD Explore bundle for free, which when I first saw it, I was like, okay, UA has a free bundle. Let me see what's included. And I look and I'm like, oh, these are plugins they've given away for free already before.
Yeah.
Like LA2A 1176, that Century channel strip.
Yep, that one. The Polymax synthesizer.
Polymax, yeah. Which I don't recall that one being free. I know that's in the Spark bundle.
They've given that one away for free before too. I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm like, okay, so you're basically just bundling what you're giving away for free already and just putting the 610 preamps.
Are those free too?
They are. I believe they're still free, but they're in that bundle too. So they're probably still free.
Yeah.
But what they are missing is an EQ. There's no real. Now those 610 channel strips have a little bit of EQ on there. I think 3 bands on the low, 3 bands in the high.
They should throw a pull tech in there.
I was thinking that. Like that would be crazy for you to get a free 1176, a free LA2A, and a free pull. Like that's the legendary classic gear right there. Those three.
Like if you're just now starting to be an engineer producer and you have a Universal Audio LA2A 1176 and a pull tech, but you are miles ahead of people just from like 10 years ago. Like with great sounding plugins, bro. Like it's crazy.
So I mean, I don't know what's the difference in the free LA2A and the free 1176 versus the ones in the bundle. I know the ones in the bundle are a little different versions or whatever.
Yeah, I think, and I don't know for sure, so don't take my word as law. But I'm pretty sure that the ones in the bundle are just the native ones. You don't get the ones that work with the interface off of their like the Apollo chip.
Okay.
And you just get that one specific version. You wouldn't get like the LA2 or the LA2A gray version, and you wouldn't get like the Blueface 1176 or the the other revision that they have with the black and blue one.
Yeah. But yeah, if they did a free version of the pull tag, that would definitely put that free bundle to me over I wouldn't care about anything else in the bundle, really, after those three.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, but that Century channel strip is actually pretty good too. I've played with it. The preamp, you can get some pretty cool tones out of that preamp. And I think that the compression is kind of an LA2A style compression too, I think. But it's pretty good.
I grabbed it when it was free, and it was just okay to me. I didn't.
Yeah, I'll admit I haven't really gone back to it and used it a lot, but it's straight.
Actually, I just had someone comment on my video on it when it was free, and I tested it, and they were like, that's basically my verdict of like it's free, so get it. But
yeah.
I'm like, this is just okay to me, and someone's like, this is great. And if you like it, I love it. But
yeah, right.
It's just it wasn't. It was just okay to me. I was just like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, man. How about you? How you been pushing faders up?
So I've been still checking out the Barefoot Footprint 03s. I'll have a review on that coming soon. I was hoping that a mix would come in and I could do a mix on them before I did my review. But I think I'm going to do my review. I've listened to mixes that I've done on them, that I've done on the Gen 1, on these Gen 2s. And I think that'll be good enough for you to do my review, because I didn't listen to, sometimes you listen to your mix on different monitors and you're like, oh, I did that, but this, like none of the mixes that I've done on the Gen 1, I listened to them on the Gen 2 and like they still sound fine. So I do think that the Gen 2, the sound is an upgrade over the Gen 1.
Gotcha.
Now they've got a new, it's called Spock technology in it, which it's a certain way it now handles the analog to digital conversion in it. But I do think it sounds better than the Gen 1. But I was glad to hear that listening to my mixes back on it, I wasn't like, oh, I messed this up.
Yeah.
Everything still sounded good. I'm like, okay. So yeah, I've been doing that. A lot of interesting plugins I've been reviewing lately too. Empirical Labs Paradigm, which is a 4-band EQ with dynamic EQ on the low and high band, and 2 Empirical Labs compressors on there. So you've got it's the compressors, you can use them as full bandwidth, or you can use them as multi-band, basically on the low and high band, and then the 2 middle bands are parametric EQ. It's a really interesting channel strip, and the intro price for it's only $19, which I was really shocked at, because the other Empirical Labs plugins are like $99, I think, something like that. But I don't know. I do, on now that I've kind of gotten over the initial shock of it, which is a really good plugin. But I feel like this is just me thinking here, we could see a bigger, a more expensive version come later, because there's no mid side on it. I don't think there's any side chain on it. So there's just some features that they can add, and I wouldn't be surprised if this version at the intro price of $19, even the regular price at $39, ends up being like a light version, and they add more features to it, to a bigger version later. I could definitely see that happening, which I think is a really good marketing strategy too.
Yeah, I might have to play with that. When you told me it was only $19, I was like, maybe I have to check that out, because it's interesting. So the compression, have you played with it, the compression a lot?
Oh yeah.
So does it sound like Distressor like?
It's Distressor influenced, I guess I'll say. Because you still don't have the nuke on there. They've got it just says L, which was a little disappointing. But the way the UI, when I say disappointing, is we're used to Empirical Labs highest ratios. I think we've got nuke. I think on the pump we've got rivet, and I forgot what it's called on the arouser. or maybe the arouser has rivet, and the pump has. Pump has. Oh, it just. Yeah, okay. There's not a specific name on there, but we're used to these cool limiter names on Empirical Labs plugins, and this just says L for limiter. So I was like,
gotcha.
But
it has
I feel like anything they,
it has that like really because I feel like all the Empirical Lab stuff has a particular sound whenever it does that fast attack thing. You know what I'm talking about?
This is a really fast attack too.
Okay. And so it has that same sound?
Yeah. Now I haven't tried to slam drums on it like I would a distressor though. And gotcha. I feel like it's just not, I mean, you could do that with this, but I just don't feel like it's made for that. But gotcha. What this is also is they've taken the Big Freak EQ. They've taken like elements of that and put it into here. Because the dynamic section has, you got a full bandwidth and you got dynamic EQ, and then you have dynamic EQ masking, which is an interesting feature on there, which is really good for like de-essing. But what it does is it takes, instead of looking at the band, let's say we did 6K and up, instead of looking at that and basing the compression off that, it's looking at frequencies outside of that band and using that to help control the dynamic reduction in that band that you've got set. It's a unique way of doing compression.
Interesting. This is unrelated to that plugin, but one plugin that I want through Empirical Labs, through like the Empirical Labs umbrella to release, is like their version of a Fatso. Because I have the one from that's through Universal Audio, but I want them, because I want to use it natively, and I mean they may end up doing a native version with Universal Audio, but I want to have a native version of that.
Yeah, they may. Yeah, and that would be a good one too. I've been going back and forth of, do I want a Fatso?
I've never used a real one, but the plugin is fire. Plugin is fire, man. I love that thing.
Yeah, I was thinking, I at one time I was like, do I need a Fatso? Just like, one time I was thinking, do I need a distressor when I got the Mic E at the studio? But I know I think I still feel like I stand by. Well, we got a distressor and a Mic E in the studio now, so. But I was thinking, did I want a distressor with the Mic E? I still get that Empirical Labs compression, and so I think as of right now I'm good with that. But yeah, the Fatso, it's a whole different beast. And would really be interesting. I mean, it wouldn't happen now. But I was just thinking it'd be cool to have the Empirical Labs Fatso and the UBK Fatso together in one plugin where you can switch between them.
UBK Fatso.
Yeah, you ain't seen the UBK Fatso? So yeah, there's a UBK Fatso version out there.
No, what? I haven't heard of UBK. Who is that?
No, UBK is they became Kush Audio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so back in the day they were UBK, and they basically, if I get this story right, they modded a Fatso, and it ended up becoming so popular that I'm not going to say Empirical Labs started selling it, but Wave Distribution at one time sold it, which Wave Distribution is who distributes for Empirical Labs. And they used to also distribute for UBK as well. So I think when they broke off, I think Wave Distribution still kept the UBK Fatso under their line, and UBK became Kush Audio and, started doing their own products.
Interesting.
But it's a Fatso. So the UBK one has different attack and release times, and I'm sure it's a couple other things that's different in there as well. But you can think of it as basically a modded Fatso, a modified Fatso.
Interesting. Yeah, I got to look into that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Gil about that. Yeah, I'm like, what's up with a Fatso Empirical Labs?
Yeah, I've met him before, actually.
Yeah, Gil's cool. the people tell him the people are asking for it. see what he says. I know we may report back on that next podcast.
Yeah, man.
Other plugin I've been checking out, Newfangled Audio Fixate mid-range.
Yeah, you were telling me about
which,
that.
That it cleans up your mid-range, and it does it in a way that's not just a EQ. Actually, this uses resonant suppression. But you analyze your track or mix, and then I think you got like denasal, dehonk, demud, dethin, all of these parameters, but once it analyzes it, it's going to adjust them to what it feels. It's going to create a curve and adjust it to what it feels like is needed. And then you can, of course, from there, tweak it even more. But I mean, these plugins are getting so good at once it analyzes it and gives you its suggested settings, like most times I'm like, that sounds good there. I don't have to tweak it too much from there. But the fact that this does mid-side as well is really nice. And I also like that it shows you as it's adjusting it, or as it like, if there's a phrase or something that, let's say, is really muddy, and then the demud will light up, and you can see like, okay, not only did I pinpoint that we need to remove some mud here, it's lighting up the parameter that is working at that time on that phrase. You can kind of see your problem issues and what parameters is working at that. So I like that about the UI. That's really cool.
Nice.
Probably the last thing I've checked out too that I really like, Techovation has a tilt EQ that is free that they've put out, and it's really good for a free plug-in. Like I have a couple other tilt EQs that I use, but this one is definitely going to be a go-to now. I usually use the ToneLux tilt EQ, or even the Sonable Smart EQ. You can put it into like a tilt mode. A lot of the wave stuff now you can do a tilt mode with it. Those are really quick and easy. You can easily get some quick results with a tilt EQ, because you're just tilting the frequency, and sometimes that can be all you need.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one at a free, I was like, oh, this is free, and I was like, oh, this is good. I mean, Techovation makes good stuff, but I wasn't expecting free tilt EQ. So I got a video on that coming soon. But yeah, I'm gonna put a link in the description for your the link for the UA. Is that for both Volt interfaces?
It's for any Volt interface that anybody wants to purchase. Yeah, if they get a Volt interface, they'll get all those free plugins that we talked about.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll have a link in the description for that as well, for y'all to check that out. All right, we're going to move on to a listener question here. We got a question here from Andre Rodriguez, where he says, honest question, would you say it's worth it to invest in cheap analog gear? I don't like saying the word cheap, so we'll just say affordable. But he said, does it really make a difference on your vocals, for example, compared to plugins? All right, so this is a really good question, and I may do a separate video and go deeper into my thoughts on this. But what would you say? Do you think it's worth it to invest in affordable gear?
Well, that's a very interesting question, because it depends, I think, is my answer, because you have some manufacturers who make some really great stuff, who like, maybe they don't have a huge marketing budget, so you don't really see too much about them online or on social media or whatever. And some of them, they just don't really know how to market themselves well. But yeah, it depends, because there are some good stuff, like take Cranbourne. They make really interesting, good stuff. I'm not saying it's perfect, but like I have their Camden 500 preamp, and putting it on Thump. But because they have like a transformerless saturation that's switchable, you can turn it to either cream or thump or whatever. I think that's the names of them. And
I've got that preamp too.
Yeah, and on thump, I love running like my like if I'm using a synthesizer or something, and it's like I'm running a bass sound. I love running it through there and putting it on thump because it adds this saturation to the low end that just really makes it, thump, honestly. And it's, it's kind of like an API style type of saturation, and it works great. Now that pre's only like $300 or $400 or something like that.
I say it's like I think it's like $350 for the 500 series, and I think
it's great.
I've got the desktop version, and I think I got a really good deal off Sweetwater. I forgot how much I paid, but I think I paid like $299.
Oh wow,
$329, something like that.
Yeah, so you have stuff like that, but then you have others. Like I've bought this. I had this Neve a 1073 style pre, and I started running my stuff through it. I'm not going to say the manufacturer, but like I started running my stuff through it. And before that, I was using the Universal Audio, their plug-in through with the Unison technology. But then I switched over to this, and I kept getting this weird. It wasn't like bad, but like every time I would record a vocal, I would have to do way more EQ than I would have to before. And I was just like trying to figure out, why does this sound so much different? Why is like the low mids feel like it's really honky, and I have to do so much scooping to try to get this to sit right. Then I took it out of there, started running it back through the Universal Audio one, fixed all my issues. So you really kind of just have to, what I would suggest is to try to listen to shootouts online if you can, to see like what sounds best to you and what works best for your material. And it's always like, and this is why certain brands have, their reputation, because it's tried and true. Certain ones like, like the like API Neve or whatever, they work for a reason because they've been around for a long time. A lot of people have trusted them. And honestly, a lot of the records that we hear and love have been ran through those pieces of gear. So our ears are tuned to those type of sounds, saturations, and all that type of stuff. But yeah, you just do your research, because you could find some good stuff that is on the cheaper end. You could find some stuff that may make your stuff sound worse on the cheaper end. So it really just depends. I don't know if that really answers the question or not, but
yeah.
What do you think?
I agree that it does depend. And for me, my biggest issue with that, it's not really an issue, but I'll say if you're just getting into engineering, you're fine going that route, because to start off with, because if you take I'm gonna use Behringer, for example. I don't know if they still I actually looked for it before we started and I couldn't find it, but you remember they used to make like a $200, $300 LA2A. I don't see it up.
I do remember they made well, it wasn't Behringer, it was Clark. That was Clark Technic, but yeah.
That's okay. That's why I couldn't find it. Hold on.
Okay, that's what you was thinking about.
You're right. Yeah. Clark, that's right.
Yeah,
it's a different name. But it's still Behringer though.
Great example. I used to have the Clark Technic 1176 that they made, like the KT76 or something like that. And not that it was bad. It was compression. It was analog compression, but it was nothing that I couldn't have gotten in a plug-in. Like the saturation, it didn't really add any to my ears. It didn't really add any like good harmonics that really made the sound better. It was very clean. So yeah, it just, I don't know.
So that's a great. Okay, so I found it now. That's why I couldn't find it before. I was searching Behringer and I was searching Midas. It's Clark Technic. So they have some of the most affordable gear on the market. That 1176 is $209. If you know an 1176, an actual 1176 is going to cost you $2,000.
Yeah.
So you're like, how are they making an 1176 for $200? So now I say it's good because that at least taught you how to use a hardware 1176. If you get a better one, using it is still going to be the same. So that it's good into that point. If you're just getting into engineering and you get that, you learn how to use that, get that to sound as best as you can. But my thing with that affordable gear is the longer you do this, you end up upgrading and finding something better. And I'm going to use Warm Audio as an example. I had the Warm Audio Pool Tech, and it was cool, but I ended up upgrading to the West Audio Pool Tech. I had the Warm Audio LA2A, and it was cool, but I ended up upgrading to the Manley ELOP. And so you will end up, the longer you do this, you'll end up finding something better. But definitely want to point out, though, a lot of this affordable gear is made to look like the more expensive gear. The Neve 1073s, the LA2A, the 1176s, the Pool Techs. Just don't, we got to keep, what's the term? Expectations, realistic expectations. You got to have realistic expectations. A $200 1176 is not going to sound like a $2,000 1176. It's not. They're not. The biggest thing there is they're not using the same parts.
Yep. Just
like that Clark Technic one uses Midas I don't know what Midas transformers sound like, but I thought they had a 1073. Am I tripping? I thought
Behringer does make a 1073.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. And I have no idea how it sounds. I haven't I did listen to it whenever it first came out, but I haven't shot it out against the real 1073 or whatever. But yeah, just like you said, you can't expect that if they're not using the same Cornhill transformers and all the same components that go into what you hear in regular or like a 1073 from back in the day or even from a BAE, it's just not going to sound the same. But you make a great point, like from a tactile standpoint, learning how to use the gear and stuff like that. That is great because I take the same approach with synthesizers. Some of Behringer, for example, again, they make their own versions of classic synthesizers like a Mini Moog or whatever. And a lot of times they do sound pretty good. But functionally, sometimes they may not work as well. Like the output may be super low or just, maybe cheaper knobs or whatever. But it's still good to learn on those. And eventually you're probably going to end up, like you said, upgrading to something better that makes a little bit more sense workflow wise, that maybe makes more sense sound wise, that just gets you that tried and true sound that you're actually looking for versus trying to get it for a cheaper price.
Mm-hmm. And back to the Craneborn and the Camden, and there is stuff that is in an affordable price range that still sounds really good. I'm going to throw the Lindale stuff out there.
I was just about to say Lindale.
The Lin 2A, and I got the Lin Tech. And I actually got the Lin 76 too. But I just never reviewed that because there was I had I forgot the issue I had with it. And I just never got it taken care of from them. But this stuff is really good, and it's kind of in that mid range. I think the Lin 2A is $599 or $699, something like that. Still not $2,000 like like an actual LA2A.
Yeah.
Now the Lintech is not tube based, which at first I was kind of upset that it wasn't tube, but I did a comparison with it with my tube Pool Tech, and I couldn't really tell the difference. So I'm like, okay, how much difference is the tubes making? And then on the flip side, I thought about it. Well, if this doesn't have any tubes in it, that means I don't have to worry about replacing tubes years down the line too.
Yeah.
So you can get good. You don't have to get the, I'll throw, like the U87. You don't have to go spend $3,000 on a U87. Yep. There's plenty of mics you can get for half the price that sounds really good or just as good. On the microphones is a good example because they're so, all this gear is subjective.
Right.
But,
yeah, definitely subjective. Yeah, but I think to your point, if you go out, if you want the LA2A sound, if you go out and spend $20,000 on the LA2A, it's not going to necessarily be better, quote unquote, in sound, and of course subjective, but it's not going to be so $20,000 better than maybe a Lin 2A or whatever. You're going to still get within a certain threshold the same character or whatever. You may get some more maybe better, again, subjective saturation, whatever you want to call it, with a $20,000 LA2A or vintage one. But it's not necessarily going to be that big of a difference or better quality by spending that much more money. You're really getting it for the look and the pride that you say, hey, I have an actual LA2A, which is totally fine if that's what you value. But if you can find some great gear for reasonable prices, and when I say reasonable, I don't mean $200. I mean like within, like somewhere between like probably $1,000 to $5,000, you can probably find some decent gear that's going to get you great sound and be reliable. But you don't have to go super cheap. But you don't also have to spend you don't have to drain your life savings.
Yeah, because people would ask like how would I get so much gear, and it's patience and saving.
Yeah.
If we'll take those two LA2As for example, we'll do the 1176 was what $200. I can save $200 and get this one, or I can save a couple more months and have $600 to $800. Just take a little bit longer and get something just a little bit better.
Yep.
And it's a lot of times you just find that that will last you longer, and compared to, because he also says it doesn't make a difference compared to plugins. With that, I've never tracked through plugins. I've never had that UA set up, so that's not something that I've done. So a lot of hardware for me, the best use for it is using it for tracking, because you will learn, and everyone's heard people say this before, but if you get it right at the source, get it right when you're recording, there's so much less work you have to do when it comes to mixing.
I agree 100%.
That's the biggest value of hardware for me. You can still use it for mixing. That's fine. But I use it for tracking first, before I go into using it for mixing. Generally, which is rare now, but if I can't get what I want out of plugins, then I'll go to hardware when I'm mixing. But more often than not, I can get what I want out of plugins now. And also, if I've recorded through a nice vocal chain of hardware, that is less work I have to do when it comes to those plugins. I don't have to do as much EQ. I may not have to do as much compression. So that's the biggest take for me about hardware, and then versus plugins.
Yeah, I totally agree. And not everybody views it this way, and that's totally fine. However your workflow is, and as long as it comes out sounding good, it really doesn't matter.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, but I value things that I can track through that gives me a great sound source, so I don't have to work more whenever I am in the mix or in the process where I'm. If I track something, I don't want to have 100 nodes trying to clean up EQ or something or whatever. Again, to the point with that preamp that I had, I was spending more time on the EQ and trying to get it to sit right because but the source that I tracked wasn't up to the quality that I needed to be. But whenever I went back and used that preamp that I was used to, and that really gave me a better sound quality, it was easier to mix. And right now I have this 500 series SSL style bus compressor in my 500 series chassis, and I never use it, just because it's not a part of my workflow to go and print something through that. And again, some people love to do that type of thing because it does give them a certain character, and I will say it does add more depth and probably 3D-ness to my mix than a plugin would. But for me, I'm just dude, I don't want to have to sit here and have to real time bounce it or whatever. Or if I'm on the road, I can't use that, and I want to have a reliable chain every time, everywhere I go. I want to be able to pull it up the exact same way. So for me, tracking is where I value the hardware and want to make sure I get good sound sources in, because it does make a world of difference.
Yeah, the struggle of real-time bouncing.
Yeah, I ain't got time for that, bro.
Hardware.
Man, I ain't got time for it, man. It only because nowadays, like you said, with plugins, you can get, I'll say I get like 95% of what I would get versus hardware, and that I can deal with that little 5% that, you know, it usually for me, it's like a little bit more depth, like slight bit of clarity and stereo width or stereo imaging. But also, I don't even know if I can say 5%. It's probably more like 98, 99. Just plugins have gotten so good nowadays, especially if you're running like oversampling and stuff like that. You pretty much get it to where it almost damn near sounds analog.
Yeah, and I mean that I would give up that 1, 2 to 5%. I may even give up 10% for the convenience.
Yes, 100%
of plugins.
100%.
Yeah, the convenience is. And I use the West Audio Dione, which is their SSL style bus compressor, but it's hardware, but it's plug-in controlled, and it doesn't get any better than that.
That's clutch. I've looked at the West Audio stuff, like to be able to have like pull it up, but it's still instantly recallable. That's clutch.
Like that was having that like allowed me to work on multiple mixes at the same time, because before I had the smart C1LA, and I was like, I got to finish this mix with this compressor before I move on to another mix and change these settings, because I don't want to keep changing these settings every time I pull up a different session.
Right. So now,
that doesn't get any better than that.
If there was a way, and this is just something I'm thinking of, if there was a way, there could be like some very small box that's portable, like maybe almost interface size or something, where you could run analog gear through or whatever, almost kind of like what's that company, Mac DSP, how they have like their rack and that runs analog stuff. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, if you have like something like that and you can run, then sure, I would run analog all day, because it's portable, I could carry it with me, I could recall it and stuff like that. But yeah, for now, just with plugins, it works for me.
APB.
Yep, that's right.
APB. They've got, that's like the concept of that is so nice. And I'm looking at this now. They got an 8-channel version and a 16-channel version. I would hope their next step is to do a desktop version, something smaller. Because this is still really, really expensive. $6,300 for the 16-channel, $3,500 for the 8-channel. But yeah, no, I feel you. All right, we're going to move on to our main topic here on resonance suppression plugins. And first, we're going to talk about what resonance suppression plugins are. And I'm going to give it, kind of hate that O'Shea's not here, because I would put him on the spot for an analogy. But the analogy that I'm going to use for resonance suppression, well, I'm not even an analogy yet. We'll just say just what it is. Resonance suppression is plugins or tools that will find resonances. They'll seek out resonances in your tracks. It'll suppress them, and it also tracks them. So if that resonance moves, it's going to keep it suppressed as it moves. And that's the biggest difference from that and an EQ. So for my analogy here, an EQ is static. And I'm say this is like if you're sending a missile at something and you put a target on it, it's like you target a frequency in EQ, and say you cut 250 hertz, that missile is going to hit just that target, and that's it. And it's also going to get, around it, but that's it. With the resonance suppression, it's going to track the resonance and follow it. So I look at that as like, what do you call them? Those honing missiles, heat-seeking missiles or whatever.
Yeah,
it's going to track it as it moves. So I've really been going to that more so than EQ on certain certain tracks, especially think of it best for things that move around a lot in pitch, vocals, guitars. Those are the two biggest ones for me. What do you use resonant suppression on?
Typically, if I'm using it on vocals or sometimes on bass, and then a lot of times if I'm using it on like a master chain, like a full master or mix or something like that to tame like some build up where, you know, there might be a lot of frequencies occupying the same, a lot of instruments occupying the same frequency range or something.
Mm-hmm. Or again, you know, if you did that statically with an EQ, you know, if that shifts or something, then it's getting outside of that range that you've cut or boosted it. So
yeah.
That's what resonant suppression is, and that's how it's different from EQ. So let's talk about now. So OEK Sound has announced Soothe 3, which is their resonant suppression plugin. And for a while, I feel like it was the king of resonant suppression. But I mean, now there's other ones out there, but I still feel like it's probably the most popular one out there. You've got Golfos, which I haven't. Have you used that one before? I haven't used that one.
No, I've never used that
one. You've got Baby Audio Smooth Operator, which I'm a huge fan of. Waves recently came out with the Curves Equator, which is resonant suppression. And then the free plugin that Wave gave out a few years ago, Wave Silk Vocal, that uses resonance suppression. I like that one too. And then the Fixate from Newfangled Audio, that also there's some resonance suppression in there too. That's again, it's focusing on just the mid range.
Yeah, I think Mastering in the Mix has one too. I forget what it's called. Let me see.
Okay. Mastering in the, are they on
Rezo?
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's some examples of some of the ones out there. We'll get into our favorite ones later, but Soothe 3, I'm gonna go over some of the new features that's been added here in Soothe 3. So they've got new improved algorithms, which they've got soft mode and hard mode. Soft mode says our most transparent resonant suppression with an adaptive threshold. Hard mode in the style of Soothe 2 with a fixed threshold, ideal for more aggressive control. They've added the low latency mode, which I feel like should have already been in Soothe 2. I feel like that's should have been hit that. They've got some workflow improvements, collapsible side panel. You can get more flexibility with the nodes you can create with it. And then they have more advanced controls, multi-channel support. Okay, so this is a good new one. Support up to 9.1.6 channel configurations with full control over linking of channel sets. Customize Soothe's response with tilt controls, which we talked about tilt earlier, ties in. Attack and release frequency dependently. I didn't realize that wasn't on there, but I haven't used Soothe 2 in a long time. Max cut parameter and linear phase mode as well. Okay, well, the pricing for it is still pretty expensive. But Soothe 3 is $259. Now, if you already have Soothe, the upgrade price is just $55. Which at that price, I might pick it up because I do feel like I feel like I owe it to the people to check it out and compare it to some of my other favorite ones out there. And I think 55 isn't a bad upgrade price. That's if you have Soothe 1 or have Soothe 2. You can upgrade to Soothe 3 for 55. Yeah. $259 definitely is a lot for one plugin. I think I paid, I wonder if I can jump in my email and check this real quick. I think I paid like $170 for mine when I got Soothe. I definitely got it on sale.
I got mine Black Friday. That's when those super high plugins, bro, I always wait till Black Friday. I'm not paying full price for that.
Yeah, and there's my receipt. April 13th, 2020. 139 euro. What is that in US dollars? I think that is right. Well, we were talking about this before. Your purchase of Soothe 2 also includes a complimentary license for the original Soothe. So yes, I was right. I was kind of right. I thought that I bought Soothe 2, or I thought I bought Soothe after Soothe 2 was released, and they gave me a free upgrade. But yeah, so 2 came with 1. Well, let's see, €139, 2 US dollars, 161. I don't know, 5 years ago, the conversion rate was, I'm gonna stick with 170. I'm gonna say I basically paid like 170, which is still a lot for one plug-in, but
yeah,
I did kind of succumb to the hype because everybody was telling me I had to have this plug-in. I had to have this plug-in. Do you still use Soothe? Usually you have it.
It depends. I don't always use it on a mix, but most of the time when I use Soothe, it's because, if I'm being honest, it's just because I'm being lazy and I don't want to have to like go through and find like, solo the bands and try to find where it's super resonant or whatever. I'm just like, I'll let Soothe do the thing and find it itself or whatever. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it works great a lot of the times. And, just because I think before the only plugin that did something like that was the Surfer EQ, which I don't have, but I've seen people use. And
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's kind of a similar concept where it'll like it. I can't remember exactly how it works, but you can set it basically, and it'll follow whatever like range or something like that. But it'll follow and make sure that like that certain resonance or whatever is dipped versus it just being static like a regular EQ. But yeah, I'll use it if like say on my all vocals bus. So I'll have like my vocals and they'll send to their buses, and then I'll have all my vocals in one bus. I'll put it on my all vocals bus to again, if like all the vocals are kind of starting to build up and they're occupying in like the 300 range or whatever, I'll just in Soothe, go around that range and make a band that covers in that 300-ish range. And just so it dips down, so it's not so forward in the mix. And like I said, most of the time it works great.
So yeah, I haven't. I really haven't used Soothe since Baby Audio Smooth Operator came out, and then I haven't really used Baby Audio Smooth Operator since Waves Equator came out. But with Soothe, one thing I did notice when I started using it is that I had to read the manual for that because it's not intuitive to me.
No, it's not.
And compared to those the Waves, the Baby Audio, all of the parameters on there are parameters that we've seen before, that we know as engineers and producers, attack, release, ratio, threshold. Right. Whereas I remember when I first opened Soothe that I was like, what does this knob do? Like I've got to go to the manual and really find out what is this, what is this doing? I would like to see them come out with a Soothe Lite, like a light version, less features. Maybe go back to taking away that attack and release.
Yeah.
Just a few controls and being able to, I think, coming out with that at, I don't know, $99, something cheaper, if you get people hooked on that, then it's like, okay, well, if you want more features, now you move up to, Soothe 3, the big boy one. Cause just I'm surprised they haven't done that. Just a lot of plugins these days are made for quick results. We're seeing less and less features for quicker and quicker results.
Yep.
Soothe 3 compared to, now I haven't used Soothe 3, so I can't speak on the sound, but one thing the Waves Curves Equator has for it is that it can learn your track, and then it applies this curve for it before it starts to do its resonance suppression. And a lot of plugins are going that route now, where it analyzes and learn your track again for quicker results. So also kind of surprised they didn't jump into that lane as well. But I am excited to see Soothe 3 come out, because of course it's going to create more and more competition. the more of these we get out there.
Yeah, how does the Baby Audio one work versus Soothe? Because I've only ever used Soothe for resonance suppression. I haven't really used any others.
So the Baby Audio one, it works. I'm trying to remember this with Soothe,
or even the Waves one.
Yeah, so both the Waves one and Baby Audio, they work by pulling a threshold down, and that you can see from the top of the UI how much gain reduction you're getting.
Oh, so just like a regular compressor.
In the UI, almost, yeah. You pull, okay. There's like a line that goes across it. Now, that line, I can create nodes. Now, I think the Baby Audio one has 5 nodes, I think. I think the new version might have a little bit more. I think they may have added a couple more nodes. But I know with Soothe, the threshold kind of works the other way. You pull it up.
Which was very confusing for me at first.
Yeah. And you're not getting, you still see the gain reduction you're getting, but it's happening, the Soothe UI, it's all happening in the frequency spectrum of the UI, whereas the Baby Audio, the Waves, your frequency spectrum and how much gain reduction, that's 2 separate visuals that you're seeing. So I do prefer that than the way Soothe does it on their UI.
You know what? I just thought about this. In Neutron has a resonance suppression module in it, and I have used that before, and I think it works similarly, where you pull that line down, and once it crosses the threshold, then it'll start to compress those different frequencies.
iZotope, if you're listening, make me an offer I can't refuse so I can upgrade my iZotope plugins, because I like them. I just don't feel like I need them.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like I say, a couple times a year, I log in and just see what my upgrade price is. And in the past, I've gotten something I'm like, what? All right, take my money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say Ozone might have one now too. I don't use Ozone on the regular, but I think they may have one too.
I like Ozone. Only reason I stopped, I don't like using stuff that everyone uses, and Ozone just got too popular for me. And I'm like, nah, man, I gotta get off this.
Everybody was on Ozone. Man. I feel like at one point, like Ozone was like the standard thing that you had on your master bus, and now I don't really see that many people using Ozone on the master bus.
Yeah, I had to get off of it. I'm like, nah. I love when people be like, oh, what do you, and same way with my gear too. Oh, would you use, U87? No. Track this vocal through LA2A? No.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not using the same thing. That's boring to me. Just using the same thing everyone else is using. I'm like, no, I'm create my own chain. But and I do the same thing with plugins. Like I try not to use what everyone else is using. So
for sure,
that's what took me off of Ozone. I was gonna say too, have you used the Wave Silk vocal?
Mm-mm.
So the way that does resonance suppression is it breaks it up into 3 bands for you.
Okay.
And it's just got low, mid, and high. Now you got crossover points you can adjust there for the mid range.
Yeah.
But you just turn up a knob. It's intuitive, easy to use. You just turn up a knob. If you want more suppression in the lows, more suppression in the mids, more suppressions in the highs. It is great for de-essing. There's also a built-in compressor into it as well. It's just a 1 knob slider. You slide down. It's basically like RVox. Where you just slide it down and it's automatically is that RVox, you just slide it down and you get your compression and automatic makeup gain at the same time. And so I like that. I like Silk vocal too there for resonance suppression.
You said that was a free one they gave away a couple years ago?
It was free.
Okay.
It was one of those Black Friday free deals.
Yeah. I always still get them, but I haven't really checked them out in a couple of years. But I have to go back and check that one out.
Yeah, and actually, I think you can still get it free now because it's in. Ooh, before I say that, now I got to fact check myself. I think it's in the Waves free plugin pack. I'm pretty sure. What is it? Starter plugin pack. Studio Verse starter pack. Let me see. 10 plugins.
I didn't even know they had that.
Wait a minute. This is not it. What is this? No. This Waves has a free plugin pack. I'm just gonna have to look for here it is, Waves free plugin pack. Here we go. Is it in here? No, it's not. I could have swore it was in here, but okay. I could have swore that one was in there, but it's probably like, as always, plugins. Probably 29 now. It's 39. It probably goes down to 39 at some point, but okay. But yeah, that's a good one. I forgot about this. It also has in the upper left, it's got female and male. So you flip it to whatever gender vocal you're working on, and you can hit a button to get some more advanced options like your speed. It's got speed, precision, high pass filter, and it's even got a gate on it, which I don't even remember it having a gate on it. I probably don't open up this that advanced panel much, but yeah, that one is that's good. The Baby Audio Smooth Operator, the new one. Now I'm gonna have to look at that. I think it has more bands now, but they introduced a new algorithm for it, but they also kept the old algorithm. So that was really nice because now you've almost got two in one. With the two algorithms, it's pretty much like having two plugins in one, basically. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so the Baby Audio Smooth Operator Pro is the newest one. I was trying to see if they had a quick panel that shows what's new. Okay, yeah, Resonance Suppression 2.0, where other spectral balancers offer global settings to affect the signal. Smooth Operator Pro lets you set individual configurations to different frequencies. Okay, click Override Global. So yeah, that's right. You can go into each of these nodes and create individual separate adjustments for all of those. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has more bands than the last one did, but that was interesting to me when they came out with the new algorithm because, they emailed me to, hey, update to this newest version. We got a new algorithm, but we're still keeping the old algorithm. Yeah. I was like, that's interesting. So I'm like, okay. So yeah, so you can easily flip between the two in there and check that out. But yeah, so if anyone, if you haven't discovered or tried resonance suppression, yeah, definitely check it out and see what you what you think about it. So I definitely feel like it almost feels like an advanced technique that you learn after your standard EQ and compression, and then even beyond dynamic EQ, I think would be the next one up from EQ. And then you're like resonance suppression, like, what is this? So, like, okay.
Yeah, it's clutch. Like I said, I pretty much just use it for like stuff after I've EQ'd like everything or whatever. I'll just use it to clean up stuff that I really don't want to have to get nitty gritty with the EQ and make a bunch of fine adjustments and just let it do it for me.
Yeah, because with the static EQ, you got to hunt those frequencies and find them, and that's a good point that you make too. That this is for cleanup. This is You're not this isn't going to add saturation, or this isn't going to, really boost anything for you. This is mainly for cleanup. All right, so let me ask you, what company would you like to see make a resonant suppression plugin?
What company? I wonder. Sonable doesn't make one, do they?
Oh, that was on my list.
I feel like Sonable would be a good one.
I do too. That's what I was thinking too. I would like to see Sonable do one. And then I think IK Multimedia I would like to see too. I was kind of thinking Soft Tube, but I kind of don't think that's their lane.
I can see them doing one. Because they have been releasing, because I think before they were kind of in the emulation game, but they've been releasing some of their own type of things. Like they just released their own Clipper plugin and a stereo widener plugin and something else. So I feel like that wouldn't be too outside of their wheelhouse nowadays.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I want to say Universal Audio might do something like that, but also I feel like it's a toss-up for them. I don't know, because they do so well with their emulation things that's kind of like their bread and butter. So I don't know if that would be something that they would be interested in.
Yeah, I couldn't see that. I would totally be shocked if they did one. I also want to throw one out there too that I forgot to mention is the M Clarity 2 from Techovation, the company I was saying had the free Tilt EQ. They have a resonant suppression plugin called M Clarity. But yeah, I would be so shocked if Universal Audio did one. Just like you said there, and I give them shit for that, because they just keep coming out with emulations, and I'm like, yeah, we don't need another one of these. Or they come out with the same emulation and then want to charge you for it. Like, hey, we made the LA2A better, buy this one. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I will say their emulations are arguably some of the best.
I agree.
So, I mean, they do really well at it, probably because, like, especially for like the LA2A and 1176, they're the ones that manufactured those. So they have like the OG schematics, and they have the lineage of the product. So of course they can actually make it sound almost as good as the hardware. But I feel like they have had a couple plugins that they've come out with that weren't emulations. Now I can't remember what those are.
The Century channel, that Century Tube channel, I don't think that's an emulation.
I don't think that's an emulation either. Yeah, I think that may be original. I can't really think of any others. They have others, but even then, like they'll have like Soft Tube, like they'll release a lot of Soft Tube and Plugin Alliance plugins through their own thing. But
and those are the other like different stuff. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, they do. I mean, are you ever going to run out of gear to emulate?
Oh man, there's so much gear out here. They could live probably the next 100 years just off emulating stuff.
I could totally see them coming out with the LA2A plugin, and it's like, this is our new LA2A plugin, and you're like, what's new with this? This one's
LA2A 2027. Right.
No, this one's from 1964. The other one's is from 1968. It's like,
right. Have you ever seen
this type of tubes in it?
Have you ever seen the CL1A?
No. Is that the 2-channel one?
No, it's so I went to this guy's studio one time, and I saw what I thought was a CL1B there. And I was just, looking at it as I do with gear, and it said CL1A. And I was like, what is this? And he basically said it's basically a CL1B that I guess has some different components inside or whatever. And I think Tube Tech actually did, I think they actually did manufacture it. I can't remember, but it's just a CL1B with different components, so they call it a CL1A. But that's like another one, like Universal Audio could be like CL1A.
I can't believe that Waves doesn't have a CL1B. I'm so shocked.
Oh, they don't?
By that. Mm-mm. And I mean, I feel like there's not that many out there on the market. You got the the UA one is the soft tube one.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. Okay.
Yeah, you got the soft tube one. There's another company. There's a couple companies that make CL1B type plugins, but they're not like, they're still not like one-to-one trying to say like this is set up exactly like a CL1B. So yeah, you're right. There's not that many of them.
Well,
there's one from
Successor.
Who is that? What's the company? I want to say Black Rooster Audio makes one that's kind of like CL1B-ish, but it's still not exactly like a CL1B.
Yeah, I like Black Rooster. I like their stuff.
I do too. But I'll tell you, one of my favorite manufacturers or plug-in manufacturers is Fuse Audio Labs. They make to me some of the best sounding plugins out, and theirs is based. It's their emulations too, but it's based on like obscure gear that most people probably haven't heard of. They have some, like they have an emulation of an LA3A and some other stuff, but their stuff is
the
really
Black Rooster one.
Yeah,
I've got some stuff from both of them. Yeah, but yeah, let's wrap this episode up here. Yeah, if y'all definitely comment and let us know what resonance suppression plugins y'all are using, because I'm sure it's some that we missed. We're just kind of going off the the popular ones out there. The ones we discussed here, I'll have a link in the description of the show notes here if y'all want to check those out. And if you try it, definitely comment and let us know how do you like it versus using EQ, because it's one of those things that you definitely, once you learn it and get to using it, it's like, why did I not know about this sooner? Because you're going to be able to dial it in quicker than a static EQ, because like you said, Sci-Fi, you got to hunt those frequencies unless you're good enough to hear it and know exactly what you need to cut in that moment, which it takes time to get to that point. But doing that versus like you said, letting Soothe or letting any of these other resonance suppressions hunt those resonances and suppress them for you. You'll be amazed at how it'll clean up, your individual tracks as well as mixes. But just like the hype for Soothe 2 got me. I mean, for $55, I'm gonna probably pick it up. Or
I'm gonna wait.
I don't know. I mean, I could also wait till a sale, but I'm
gonna wait till a sale.
I think they're gonna have a sale on the upgrade price, though.
I bet they will. I get that money for $30.
You think so? I haven't bought a plug-in in a while. Well, no, I did. I bought the Empirical Labs one. But and we got to have a plug-in developer on the podcast, because I'm so curious how we get these pricings, come about, because we justify it with hardware because of the parts. You got to buy the parts for it.
Yeah,
I don't understand how that goes into the software side of it, but just some of these prices, like the upgrade price at $55.
Yeah,
$49 would have been so much more attractive hearing that versus $55. And then the full price for Soothe 3, $259. It's just a weird number.
It is a weird number. Because I know they're probably like having to pay like developers and from the research and all that type of stuff, but you can still make that money back if you price it at a rounder number than with 49 or whatever than 55. So that would be interesting to hear that.
And I guess also with them too, they're not an American company, so their price is in euros. So maybe as of right now, that converted to US dollars is what's the $259. Maybe they were trying to get under $250. I don't know, but it's weird. Yeah, we got to have someone on the podcast and talk about these plug-in prices.
Yeah,
Gotta
that'd be
get some
interesting.
guests on the podcast, man. I don't want to say the names because it's going to force me to to do it, which I still plan on doing it, man. I've talked to so many people about coming on, and they want to come on. We just got to make it happen. I've definitely got some companies lined up, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head if any of them make plugins. But yeah, we're definitely gonna have someone on talk about that. I'm so curious about that. It'd also be curious on the hardware side as well to see how they come up with their pricing for a product as well. Because at least I know one company does is they start with all the premium parts and everything, and it's like, okay, this is going to cost this. How can we get it down to the target, say 1,500 or whatever? So then you kind of start moving stuff around and changing schematics a little bit, maybe using different parts here and there, So but yeah, we got to figure that out for the plug-in side though, for sure.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, I said we're going to wrap this episode up. Don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You got a question you want answered on the podcast, email us at fadersuppodcast@yahoo.com. If you want to share how you've been pushing Faders Up, definitely comment on our Facebook group, Faders Up Podcast. Let us know. We'll share that on the show. And again, all guests and hosts that appear on the show will be in the show notes. All right, I'm Czar.
I'm Sci-Fi.
And we'll catch y'all next episode.